from the post Children's Day celebration across the country and through to the royal tussle that is going on in the country and down to the Banex resolution by the Nigerian Army. These are a way of welcoming you to the headline reviews on Afro Connect TV. I am Godwin Sunday. And I'm being joined in today's edition show by the honorable, let me call him honorable Shola Onimode, who happens to be a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the show, Shola.
Thank you, Mr. Godwin. It's a pleasure to be here again.
All right. So let's start this conversation first from the children perspective. How was the Children's Day celebration from your end?
As we say, no matter your age, you're still a child to somebody. So for me, the Children's Day commemoration for 2024, yes, while we appreciate nature for time, it also came with mixed feelings because the little things kids take to school are no longer little. The basic ideas that you bring up to make the day memorable for children, the days of going out with 5 kids, even your neighbor's kid wants to say, oh, could you come along with us? And you go to the playground and have fun, get a few gifts. We realized very few parents came out. However, it was worth celebrating. So children out there were saying, Happy Children's Day.
For once, I thought they postponed the Children's Day also because we didn't get to see one of those colorful celebrations we see across board where we get to see children come out. They do this marching parades across the. We didn't see all of those celebrations. I don't know in the Federal Capital Territory here.
I followed my alma mater, my secondary school, Government Science Secondary School, Lokoja in Kogi State. I was happy seeing the flag of my school and the national flag flying while people were still celebrating. Of course, it calls for a whole lot of reasons to celebrate. However, the economy is one aspect that cannot be taken away from every facet of life, including the anniversary of our children. Congratulations to the children, however.
Shola, the way you smiled, it looks as if you missed your childhood. Well, I won't want to go into that conversation right now. We'll go for a short break right now. When we come back, we'll be delving news and the headlines in perspective. Please stay with us as Headline Reviews continues in a moment. Welcome back. We'll begin the stories from the leadership, where we have the High Court of Kano has directed the Commissioner of Police in the state to evict disposed Emir Aminu Ado Bayero from the Mini Palace in Nasarawa area of Kano Metropolis. The court also issued an interim injunction preventing the disposed Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, from parading himself as the Emir of Kano. The orders were delivered by Honorable Justice Amina Adamu Aliyu of the High Court number 7 on Miller Road, Kano. The orders were sought by the State Attorney General and the Commissioner for Justice, Speaker of Kano State House of Assembly, and the State House of Assembly in a suit against Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero and the 4 others disposed Emir, including Alhaji Nasiru Ado Bayero, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar II, Alhaji Kabiru Mohammed Inuwa, and Alhaji Aliyu Ibrahim Gaya. Now, let's bring this conversation to the studio right now. And looking at all of this power tussle and royal tussle, if you like to use that word. Just last week, we saw Sanusi being celebrated, being reinstated in office as at last week, and right now we're seeing Bayero going. We saw Bayero also going to court last week. Ado Bayero going to court last week to seek to get an injunction for them to maintain the status quo till the court decide. But then we've seen Kano State, a court in Kano State, also coming up with another ruling. Don't you think at this point that this will further aggregate the already tensed up and tension in Kano State in general?
Like I will say, it's an interesting time to be alive. Emir Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, as some would say, the king has returned. For Emir Ado Bayero, we wouldn't say the king left. However, in keeping with governance and the rule of law, we're saying a governor has whose power it is to administrative power, executive power as it is, to oversee the affairs of a state, has in his rights and the rights enshrined in the Constitution for the House of Assembly in Kano, have decided that a decision that was taken by the same state governments under the leadership of Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, by expanding the known, the over 1,000 years history of the Kano Emirate Council to become 5, and thereby deposing the then Emir Sanusi, who has then now returned. The return of Emir Sanusi, as we know, we've been following for over a week now, brought about mixed feelings. But before going into that, you want to look at Kano. Where does Kano stand in Nigeria? A state with population of about 20 million persons. You will understand what it means if that city is thrown into chaos. When 20 million persons are confused, even in a market where we all are conscious, when we want to all go through a gate, you can understand how terrible it can be. You then talk about people who are divided, and as important as a traditional institution is to Nigeria, to Africans as it were, you want to understand that the court has taken what I would regard as the best decision for now. You will want to understand that when this decision was taken, the governor gave 48 hours. People should also understand that the decision is not just about Kano. Yes, the name that is loud, the loudest name is Sanusi Lamido Sanusi and Emir Ado Bayero. However, there are 4 other names. 4 other emirates. It's not just about Kano Emirate Council. There are 4 other emirates that no longer exist as far as the decision of the assembly is. The Bichi, the Gaya, Rano, and what we have now is an ex parte order. What it means is the defense council could not make contributions. This is you going to a court to say stop this process, and that order was granted. An ex parte order is that which a single individual, without the contribution or the defense opportunity of the other person to come in to either oppose or defend his or herself while waiting for a judgment that is to come. For me, I will say, in order to put Kano in a safe light and reduce the tension that is already heightened, the court, Justice Amina has decided this way. If you ask me, this is fair while we're waiting for other aspects of the judgment. And I will implore Kano citizenry to go on their daily businesses while we are hoping that these judgments will be reached, and every party that is every individual that is a party to this case will accept it, and then Kano Emirates, that we know is over 1,000 years, can forge ahead.
All right, Shola, but on most lips, the question has been that wouldn't this automatically also desecrate on the institution, the stool of traditional institutions in Nigeria? Or we should just leave that conversation at that? I don't know if you want to throw light into that, because from looking at one protest on one hand, this is what we get in a typical political scenario. And we know that the stool of traditional institutions in Nigeria has nothing to do with what they call political mandate. Even though it's a traditional system, but a monarchical system in itself, not a constitutional monarchy, but an absolute monarchy, we will say that it has been a respected tradition over the years. But wouldn't this also, throw us in the political, the monarchical system? Wouldn't it throw us into ridiculing the traditional systems in Nigeria? And so let me just get you to react to that in just a few minutes before we take up the next story.
I'm proud to the coming of democracy and the acceptance of democracy by Nigeria. So far, we're doing well democracy-wise. You will also understand that we operate a system that we operate a constitution that has placed the traditional council under the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftains. By so doing, it means a hierarchy of governance as we have also have a whole lot to do about the, the the traditional council. Will this decimate the importance of the traditional council? I will say no, it wouldn't. However, I will see it as strengthening the traditional councils more, in the sense that by the time this tussle is over, the people of Kano will need to understand that what a state assembly does not is not a person's decision. It is the collection of people from every aspect of the states. That what that means is a decision has been reached. A decision has been reached, and everyone who is a party to it, as far as the state assembly is concerned, were able to have their, as we say in democracy, minority will have their say, majority will have their way. If majority actually had their way upon that decision, the people of Kano should accept this, and we should be we should accept that we're making progress to this regard. I would not say this as decimating the traditional institution. However, I understand it's going to be it's going to be a better aspect as to improving the performance of our traditional institution. That's what I have to say.
Well, that's what you have to say, Shola, as the honorable that you are. Let's move on to another interesting conversation. We're moving straight to Daily Trust, where we have ASU threatening strike over poor remuneration. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has threatened that it may go on strike if the federal government fails to review its members' salary and adequately fund universities. During a press conference in Uyo on Monday, Comrade Happiness Uduk, chairman of the ASU Calabar Zone, voiced the concern on behalf of chairpersons from various universities, including Abia State University, Akwa Ibom State University, Ebonyi State University, Federal University, Ndufu Alike, University of Cross River State,
be in it. And when we get to that state, it might just get to that platform where we say, we have gotten to that point of no return. We'll begin to see our institutions where people stay as, let me hold this one. If I get a better job, they jump out. And that's what is happening today. You see lecturers in institutions, when they get any other job that can give them any inch ahead, they want to leave. It is sad that ASU had to resort to this. You will understand also that strike is the last tool of labor unions. There must have been consultations. This discussion has been going on even all along while President Muhammadu Buhari was in office. So now that President Tinubu has come in, we will expect a proactive system will invite these people before they begin to threaten strike. Can we talk about this? Let them know the realities of what is in your papers. This is how much we are earning. We cannot promise so much. When you are open to these people, they are also Nigerians. But you do not come open, you do not say you cannot afford so much, where they see you spend so much on other things regarded as frivolities, with due respect to whoever is making such expenditures. But when you tell the people you cannot pay so much, but when they turn around, they see you spending as much on other aspects of life. I just feel the federal government has failed to prioritize ASU, but this is not me saying strike becomes the best, but it appears it is the only language the government understands. If that is the only option, shall we shut down the system and let's see what happens?
But Shola, looking at the complexity of ASU, the demand of ASU has become a very complex rhetoric, if you like to use that word. When we say that ASU demand for A today, and the federal government is on the round table to discuss A with ASU, and tomorrow ASU is demanded for B. Looking at the too many complex demand of ASU, don't you think again that these are factors that can necessitate ASU or derail the federal government into even thinking about reviewing the salaries of ASU?
Review the demands of ASU, as it were. Yes, some persons will say it is a selfish demand because usually when ASU make demands, you also see other aspects of the demands, including the aspect where they talk about improvement of the infrastructures in universities. But you want to say those things they are asking for, are they important? Yes. Have they been provided for? No. Should they be provided for? Yes. Is the government doing anything to provide them? No. So you give people more room to talk when they make demands of things that are very important. And you don't get to say anything about it. Only for them to come and you say they're becoming musicians because they're singing the same lyrics again and again. The same item ASU has been demanding is over, some of them as long as 15, 20 years. Go to some of our public institutions. Of course, you will understand that the ASU we are talking about are members of public-owned institutions. Owners of private institutions take care of themselves. But when you go to our public institutions today, with due respect, you want to weep. Even though some of us are still advocates that the federal government-owned institutions are still some of the best. Some of these private institutions cannot match with what we have by virtue of infrastructure, by virtue of the extent to which federal institutions can go when it comes to research. Government is the highest spender. They should spend in the things that build us. When you refuse to equip these institutions, if you equip ASU so well, and you equip our institutions so well, I can be very sure that even the ICT sector we're talking about, Nigeria can make a whole lot of earnings. Institutions can get to that stage where they begin to fund themselves. Organizations can come in and say, well, they want to do this research, and they will pay institutions to do such research. The result will come out, they get patents right for it, and pay institutions while they're running their activities. But we're not saying they should privatize, but we are saying fund these institutions, and they will generate for a good fund for you. Nigerian graduate, the public institutions graduate over 1 million graduates annually. So we should put this.
Shola, for allow you vibrate like this, I know we won't leave here today, but let's get to our last story for today, and we're heading straight to the Tribune newspaper, where we have good news, by the way. The Nigerian Army has agreed to reopen the Banex Plaza in Abuja, where the Tribune has it that the Nigerian Army High Command has agreed to reopen the Abuja Banex Plaza in the Federal Capital Territory, shut down on May 19th. This was contained in a statement made available to news in Abuja on Monday night by Director of Army Public Relations, Major General Oyema Nwachukwu, on the update on the closure of the plaza. Shola, this is a very good news if you ask me. But then again, let's take this, let's put this in perspective. Just about 2 weeks ago, the Nigerian army was forced to shut down a Banex, a plaza where it's been popular for repairs of phones and other gadgets, electronic gadgets in Abuja. And also, the Nigerian army, what led to this was that some rogues attacked 2 uniformed personnel in that plaza, which forced the Nigerian army to take a quick action in order to salvage that situation so that it won't lead to other scenario where people begin to arrest uniformed personnel. In order to curtail that outburst, Nigerian army have to come in quickly. But then let's talk this issue of closing the plaza and reopening of the plaza. Understand what Oyema Nwachukwu, the spokesperson for the Nigerian, the public relations officer of the Nigerian army, has come out to give an elaborate speech on this and some of the steps that have been taken. But let's look at this holistically. Is this the right step to take? Is it the right step to take at this time, knowing fully well that, look at it from international best practice. Will the Army of the United States of America shut down a plaza because of this singular act? Is this a universal best practice? Or is just a Nigerian and African thing that it has come to those points where you guys violate or you harass a uniformed person, we have to shut it down? You harass a uniformed person on this road, same thing with that, what happened in Delta State. You harass a uniformed person, of course, we move on into action, and every civilian will literally almost pay for it. Allegedly almost pay for it. But it has become a recurring thing in the African scenario. So let me get you react to this first. Should this be should it be a welcome development, or what do you think that the Nigerian army can do better in order to salvage situations other than shutting down a whole system in order to get some form of revolt and revolutionary tactics in ensuring that people that have been harassed, or soldiers or military personnel or other uniformed personnel that have been harassed, also get justice? What's your take generally on this?
Starting from the diaspora, if this happens in the United Kingdom, the UK, or other parts of the world, as we know, a threat to life anywhere is a threat to life everywhere. Whether the person is a military person, whether the person is a civilian, an unprovoked attack should not be condoned anywhere and will not be condoned anywhere. Not in the UK, not in Nigeria, not anywhere in the world. However, these are military personnel. You want to understand the army mode of operandi. If you can go to the point of attacking those who should defend your republic from external aggressions, who then protects you when you have an external attack? One will understand that, yes, behind the uniform of a soldier is a human. Hence, his activities once in a while might just detect the humanness in him. But how do you react to this? The military formation is an organized system.
Yeah.
As much as we want to say, the army are not the people you just walk up to and say anything, I can assure you that the force headquarters is open. You can go civilly. The office of the National Security Advisor is an open place. Where you have, Banex is an organized system. It's not just the people who just woke up from anywhere and just walked in. They have associations. So when you have concerns, it is only respectful. It is only right that these people you have concerns with, they have an institution. And come to look at it, this did not happen in Bayelsa, did not happen in Ekiti. It happened in Abuja. It means a vehicle that is driving in another 15-20 minutes, you arrive at force headquarters and you can channel your complaints. So why attack? So that said, you want to see Banex as that employer of that institution, or that group of, that's the Banex Plaza we're referring to, that employs hundreds of thousands of young Nigerians. You want such a place to be kept shut? You want it to be kept locked So, for the Nigerian army, coming in to rescue the situation and shutting down, that's to calm tensions, right? However, having gone through the process and deciding to open up after a few days, I feel it is the right step in the right direction. However, this is calling on the managers or the management of the plaza to ensure that people are sensitized. You do not take laws into your hands. We've not completely recovered from what happened in Okwama. We do not breed people who will be violent to our security forces. These men and women in whether in the army, in the police, or any of the security forces, they are out living their lives for you. So when you decide to attack, I will say to every citizen, this is wrong. We shouldn't allow this to go on. And I commend the army for opening this, while discussions and every effort made to end the detention is contained. I commend the army.
Well, Shola, I have a lot of questions I want to ask, but then our time is fast spent. We've been signaled right now that it's time to go. I want to thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much, Gordon, for having me.
And hope when next we need you on the show, you'll be available for us.
Of course, I will.
Well, viewers, this is how far we can go today on the headline reviews. Do remember that you can join in the conversations on our various social media handles being displayed on the screen right now. You can leave a comment for us, and also you can like and follow us in order to get more updates on headline reviews, even here on the stable. And also do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Till I come your way again, same time, same station. I am Godwin Sunday. Do enjoy the rest of your day.